Travolting presents Bobbin for Robin. Hosted by Jeff Sweeney and Stuart Elmore. Covering Man of the Year with special guest Justin Campbell.
Frequently for the same reason.
Maybe you should be president.
What if a comedian ran for president?
I will officially announce my candidacy for president.
Wow.
What if he won?
We're going paintballing.
The president has been shot. He's dead. Let's go round them up.
On October 13th.
Have you thought what the makeup of your cabinet might be?
Bruce Springsteen is Secretary of State. A joke. A little one.
Man of the Year.
I did not have sex with that woman. I wanted to.
Rated PG-13. Starts October 13th.
Wow. Can you guys imagine?
Can you guys imagine?
Can you just like, man, is Barry Levinson a staff writer for the Trump administration?
You should be.
Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
I watched this movie. We all watched this movie. Hopefully, we all had a time, one way or the other, watching this movie. Have either of you guys seen Wag the Dog?
No.
Do you guys know the premise?
I'm aware of the premise.
Of Wag the Dog?
Yeah, because when I was looking the guy up, I saw it in his letter or his IMDb.
I just played the trailer for Man of the Year. Let me play the 30-second TV spot for Wag the Dog for everybody who hasn't heard this or seen this before.
When scandal hits the White House, Washington's top spin doctor.
Just got to distract him.
And Hollywood's top producer. Team up.
You want me to produce your war? Not a war. It's a pageant.
To fool the media.
Put the village behind me.
Give me some screaming.
Dustin Hoffman.
What could I do to top this?
Robert De Niro.
War is show business.
Wag the Dog.
When it's cooking, it's cooking.
Rated R. Starts Friday in select cities.
That's right. 9 years earlier, they made a movie about the president having a really bad sex scandal.
Yes.
And so what do? They go to war to distract people. Barry Levinson.
Barry Levinson, a very...
Blink twice if you need help.
I'm tired of this game.
this shit. Here's the thing about this movie.
There's a lot of things about
There's
this.
a lot of things about this movie. There's a lot of things about this movie.
There's a lot of things about this movie.
Number one of the most totally confused movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Secondly, this does have a lot of similarities with what we like to call our present situation. I will say the key difference is that this movie is about a comedian running for president. What is currently occurring is Trump for everything is not a comedian. I think people are always forgetting this.
Yeah.
He just has a very good sense of humor. But he's just riffing. He's never writing jokes.
Justin Campbell, special guest on the podcast.
Because everyone's like, this movie is so similar to The Donald. And I'm like, it is a little bit. But this movie is like, could not imagine how bad this whole thing was.
No, it's like this movie, it's like if you made this movie like in 2015 in anticipation of the 2016 election, they missed the mark by like a tremendous amount for what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Now, this movie, because it's 2006 and we're watching it 20 years later, are looking back being like, oh my God.
Yeah. The key to this movie does really have to be examined in the context of its time.
Yes.
So specifically. Because this movie is ultimately about Jon Stewart, is like who it is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Like this is a movie about Jon Stewart in Decision 2004, which is seen as like kind of a moral voice to America. A comedy show that really told it how it was cutting through the bullshit on both parties, leaned left. And there was genuine people who were like, this guy should just run for president.
And then 2 years later, he did.
And
as Stephen Colbert's running mate.
As Stephen Colbert's running mate.
Are you aware of this?
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I was in the trenches for that.
Yeah.
I was in the trenches those years.
You were campaigning with them?
Yeah, the two of them ran for president together, and then they did the rally to restore sanity and or fear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know about this? Mm-mm. In 2010, Jon Stewart announced on The Daily Show that he was going to hold a rally in the National Mall. Shortly after, I think Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh had done a rally there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was going to be called the Rally to Restore Sanity. And the Colbert Report would air immediately after The Daily Show. And Colbert independently announced he was going to hold a rally on the National Mall on the same date called the Rally to Restore Fear. And then the two of them, within the story of the shows, came together because they could only have one permit and did a rally called the Rally to Restore Sanity and or Fear. And it is, if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's like 2.5 hours long. It is an incredible bit of live stage production just done in front of the nation's capital. Like at the end of it, Colbert brings out like a 20-foot tall inflatable version of himself that's like the fear monster.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to like possess all the people in the crowd who would come to watch.
Huh. My God.
John Oliver plays Peter Pan.
Very good.
But it's good. Anyway, the point being, Jon Stewart was seen as a moral voice for America. People encouraged him to run for president. And he ran a joking campaign 2 years later.
Yeah.
With Colbert. That was just like, let's just see what happens. This will be funny.
Yeah.
He never took it seriously because he knew his place was never to like, he was an entertainer. His place was never actually in politics.
Well, and I think like Stephen Colbert like didn't qualify for the Democratic ballot either.
Yeah.
I think there was some like weird bureaucratic bullshitter thing. And also they didn't want to pay the $15,000 fine to join the Republican ballot either.
Because like Colbert and Stewart are like the perfect example in the Bush years for what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched Colbert's White House Correspondents' Dinner? So White House Correspondents' Dinner, traditionally, like you hire a comedian, the president is there, and the comedian does a light roast of the president. It's all in good humor. The president's involved in it. I don't know. It's really unknown. Someone in the Bush White House must have thought Colbert's shtick was real. Because he always played like a hardcore right-wing guy on the show. They must have thought that's actually what his politics were. Because he gets up there and he lacerates Bush in front of everybody. And you can tell the hate coming off of the whole table as he's up there. And he's just like, this is the man who will stand like in Katrina and tell us it's all right. He's just like cooking him. And Bush looks so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
But that is the place of people like this.
Yeah.
And this movie at its core is trying to evaluate, like, what if one of them actually did run for president? Which I think is an interesting place to start your movie at.
Absolutely. I agree.
I think within 10 minutes, the movie is in the wrong direction.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much in lockstep on our feelings and views on this movie. Justin, how did you feel about this movie?
You know,
have you seen it before? Was it your first view?
No, this was my second view. My parents in probably around 2006, 2007 bought it on DVD.
Owned it physical media.
That's how I watched it. Yeah.
Wow.
We still have the DVD.
That's crazy.
We, not what we were expecting. And even watching it again, not what I was expecting. I do agree that once you turn it on, I'm just like, oh, we're just doing it. We're going right into the election at this point.
Yeah.
See, I think it's clear to me that what they wanted was they wanted a movie where he wins the election so they could do all the president-elect stuff with him.
The jokes, the president-elect jokes,
But they didn't know how to get themselves out of that corner. Like they didn't the movie has to have him win the election, but they don't want him to be the president because they don't want to send that
the
message.
legitimate president.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
the key right there.
And so they want both those things to occur.
Yeah.
And they choose the most convoluted ass rationale.
Oh my God.
Because
it tanks the movie, really.
No, because even at the end of the movie, all the newspapers are like, Dobbs declines presidency. It's like, he just didn't win it.
Well, because don't they say there's going to be a second election and I'm not running in it?
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like the last election where I won was not fully fair. So we're gonna run
But
again.
the
but
point
I'm not
being,
gonna
like,
run.
the end of this movie is still ends up winding up at the point where like he chooses to reject being the president.
Yes.
And I'm like, so then
it's-
why is there all this rigmarole with the voting machines?
Right, exactly.
Why does this movie suddenly hard shift into the parallax view?
Yeah.
With like 30 minutes left, and there's like assassins chasing after her.
Don't-
It's like a cover up
Jesus.
and hitmen, and yeah, it gets because like I wrote a really big
This
letter.
movie's about a funny man.
Right. Like I wrote a really big like letterbox review of this, but like, and I think Barry Levinson had this in the draft. Like I can only imagine so, but like this movie should not be about like a comedian mistakenly winning the presidency
Right.
and like it's oops. No, it should be like he should actually have won the presidency. And then when all the questions are like, what's your cabinet going to be? It's like, oh, I like cherry. I like walnut. I'm going to do like a hardwood. Like it should be about these questions of like, oh shit. Like what are your policies actually?
Right.
Like, cause that's the thing. It's like you watch that first debate scene.
Yeah.
And that first debate scene, like, how do we feel about the debate scene?
I like the debate scene.
I'm like slightly warm on the debate scene. It wasn't a slam dunk out of the park. But like I did like it. What were your thoughts on
I
the
mean,
debate scene?
I did like it because he doesn't go into really anything he believes in.
Exactly.
He just
Exactly.
attacks the other two.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which is kind of like the thing that I was like hoping for more of like
Yeah.
less like jokes for the sake of jokes and more like if it was mostly all just like slam dunks on the
Yeah.
other guys, which are good points.
Yeah.
Like,
But like he never seems to have a policy.
but never
Yeah.
ever providing his own policy.
Yeah.
And it's because like he goes like the first debate scene. So let's start from the beginning. We're going to bounce around a little bit, but like I agree with you 100%. The movie fails after its first 10 minutes.
And I think it's weird because I actually do think the bones of this movie are good. Even though it fails early, I do think like overall, if I were to just like, if I didn't say the election interference plotline, and it basically this movie is about a comedian who runs for president, he wins the presidency, realizes he is not fit to be the president, and goes on Saturday Night Live at the end to decline the presidency and tell the people that they deserve someone who actually represents them, not someone who is just entertaining. That is a great structure.
That's a great structure.
That's a great structure to
Yeah.
your movie.
Yeah.
You just need to spend. Now, what I didn't tell you in that explanation was, also Delacroix Systems has a glitch in the system where it's alphabetizing the president, so he only wins because of the alphabetization
So
error.
stupid. So stupid.
Like what?
This movie falls under the clear category that we've talked about many times on the show. And it's movies that could have been really good, but missed the mark by a little bit, which collapses the whole thing. Because this movie has so much potential to be like, and it's Barry Levinson too, who is like we've talked about Barry Levinson before on the show with Good Morning Vietnam. And like Levinson has the capability of landing these strong points in like a shroud of like comedy. Like Good Morning Vietnam is all about like trying to make funny jokes over the course of this like horrific war and making the decision to maybe we shouldn't be looking past these horrific atrocities that are happening and maybe we should actually like tell the truth about what's going on. Like, so you already done it. You've already made that movie really good and you just have to
Do it
rinse,
again.
spit, repeat, but in this context. Like it's so frustrating because the movie's first 10 minutes is what its first 50 minutes should be. This movie should be like the first 10 minutes should just be like his talk show, roasting politicians.
Yeah, we should spend more time at the talk show.
And it's like the end of the 10 minutes is he goes to audience Q&A and he does a few funny bits. And then it's the classic Jon Stewart moment. It's like, well, what if you ran for president? Listen, I'm an entertainer, blah, 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 blah. I don't think, blah, blah. I don't have any like voice or whatever, blah, 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 or whatever. And then, all right, thank you all. We had a really amazing show. Good night, everybody. Walks off stage. It's like, Dobbs, there's like a lot of media attention about your speech there with that question about running for president, you know? And then like the network executives get involved and they're like, imagine what this would do for the show's ratings if you actually ran for president? Not seriously, of course.
Yeah.
Like, not seriously.
You don't have to win.
We're not going to spend that much money on your campaign. Let's be real. But what if you ran as an independent, Dobbs, and like you ran as your persona of comedian talk show Tom Dobbs as for president, and you're like, well, this could actually like get me my HBO comedy special I've been really wanting to do. This could get me my role on television. It could actually we could syndicate the show, or we could, like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like Saturday Night Live. I could finally do Saturday Night Live. And that's a good seed to plant for the finale of the movie.
What if a joke candidate actually won?
Right. The joke is he actually wins.
Yes.
It's the producers when the show is not a flop and it's actually really good. And you're like, oh shit, we didn't plan for this part.
And he starts believing that he actually could be president.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the campaign team, which it's the reversal roles in this movie. The campaign team seemed to believe you could be president. And Tom Dobbs has to sort of get comfortable with the idea. It should be the opposite. The campaign team should have no illusion that he's ever going to be a good president.
Right.
And it's all just a marketing stunt, marketing ploy. But it's Tom Dobbs that gets disillusioned by all of his rallies, which are all stand-up comedy shows. And he walks off stage being like, all right, guys, let's go on to the next one. I'm hyped. And you're like, hey, let's talk a little bit. You're taking this a bit too seriously. On that last rally you did, you actually talked about your stance on abortion.
Because at the beginning of the movie, when he first starts running for president, he's putting everybody to sleep at his rallies because he's just talking about policy. And when he starts doing comedy, that he starts actually getting votes.
Right. I mean,
but I think that the movie, it's a point that as charismatic as Robin Williams is as this character, people only really care about his comedy, and that's when he's compelling. But when he's actually talking about politics and policy, he's not very interesting.
Yeah, right.
Well, wasn't that his campaign team too that was pushing him to do more jokes? To do more, they're not here to listen to your policy. They want to hear you make fun of other people. Or whatever.
Right. And that is even what you both just said also falls under the central point, which is, what are his policies?
Yeah.
I only think I heard one policy this guy ever talked about, which is national security and immigration, that he wants a stronger border, but less TSA. But less TSA. That's the only policy I think I ever
love what's
heard.
going on right now.
Right.
Dude, well, that's exactly what's happening this month of March of 2026.
Tom Dobbs fucking seeing the future, man.
When he said, this is a line in the movie, he says, I don't understand why, you go through TSA and you're in line and you have to answer all these questions. And meanwhile, there's 15 million illegal. I'm like, oh, no, stop.
I have tempted to turn the movie off.
But no,
here's the thing we're saying.
He gets so disillusioned that he might actually work. And then the nail in the coffin, which is the networks actually allow him to debate.
Yeah.
And that's the campaigns and the studio executives are torn about it. I'm rewriting the movie here. Humor me with this, but they're torn about it. So if we go on the debate, we're going on the debate as a candidate. But we're doing fine doing what we're doing, just boosting our ratings, Vermin Supreme style, and we're doing okay. But if we actually get on the debate stage, and Robin Williams is no, I want to go on the debate stage. It is my time, and they're like, okay, fine. Goes on the debate stage, roasts the shit out of them, and his ratings
skyrocket.
Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis campaign, it's his ratings skyrocket. The polls are going up, and he gets so more disillusioned and then that's where Christopher Walken.
This movie kind of positions Christopher Walken for most of its runtime as a semi-villainous, he's kind of
big waste in that movie. He's so wasted.
He's very wasted. It's Christopher Walken's character is part of the machine and wants him to be president because they're friends.
There does need to be a devil over the shoulder.
Yeah, he's the devil over the shoulder. That in a better version of this movie, he's more prominent.
Let me be clear. In this movie, he is not as much of a devil over the shoulder as we want him to be.
Yes. Christopher Walken's influence over Robin Williams should just be absolutely. He's really convinced. I think you can do this
because he's who's the role in the campaign? The guy that starts off at Zach Galifianakis' campaign and switches to Will Ferrell. He's
I've never seen the campaign.
You never seen the campaign?
It's been a long time.
He's the stand-in for the lobby interest. Dylan McDermott Dylan McDermott. He plays like the guy that like plays like all the lobbyist interest groups, and so he starts with Zach Galifianakis' campaign, and that's how he starts to beat Will Ferrell, and then all of a sudden he switches sides, and Will Ferrell starts to get more campaign funding. But like Christopher Walken should be that kind of role. He should be like the campaign manager who also represents sort of like the lobbyist, like special interest, which goes to show like his whole campaign joke is you're bought out by all the special interests, which is every politician's fucking line in all the debates is that they're saying, well, you're represented by special interest group while they wear the NASCAR patch of like energy special interest groups. So
I did love that bit in the debate when Dobbs is like, we should just start putting a bunch of patches on like the NASCAR racers about who's sponsoring us.
Which it speaks to another smaller but part issue I have with this movie is a regurgitation of a lot of Robin Williams' old stand-up bits from shows he's done 20 years ago.
Yeah. He says he based his comedy routines of this movie off of his old work.
Yes.
And Jay Leno. I see a lot more of just old Robin in this.
There's a lot of old Robin jokes that I've heard many times before. He will also take all of these jokes and compact it, put it in a 1-hour HBO comedy special called Weapons of Self-Destruction. If you watch that comedy special, it's all of the jokes he says at Man of the Year, but just regular stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
He literally does the NASCAR bit. He literally does the legalize same sex. If everybody who's been married knows that it's always the same sex, he does that same bit. He does like all the same bits from this movie to
that's upsetting.
It is upsetting. So like these are all like funny jokes like in a vacuum, but then like if you've like watched any of other Robin stuff, it's like I've heard that one, I've heard that one, I've heard that one, like, you know. And he's also just playing himself.
Yeah.
Now, in some cases, that's fine. That's fine. But like, again, I want to see him start to believe he can be a good president.
Yes.
And I never feel like, I feel he starts that way, and that's the issue.
Yeah, he starts feeling...
Because we spent 20 minutes already talking this podcast, basically saying the exact same thing, which is everything I've just been talking about happens in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Which should be happening throughout the course of the first 50 minutes of the movie. This should be like the Act 2 needle drop is him winning the presidency. He wins the presidency at like the 15, 17 minute mark.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm not crazy. It is that early in the movie. He wins the presidency.
Oh, yeah.
That's the crux of this whole fucking movie. And you put it in the first like 20 minutes? What? Movie really pisses me off.
I think it's just an entirely unfunctional movie.
Yeah.
Justin, did you just want to? Did you have like a fond memory of this movie from when you watched it with your parents, or were you compelled for this?
I mean, I picked it because I remembered I had the DVD at the house still. Because literally it was the same thing when my parents bought it. They expected like, haha, funny presidency jokes, whatever.
Robin do bits.
And then we're watching it, and I felt the same way then as I do now, where I feel like I don't think the movie knows even what genre it wants to be.
Yeah.
Because it's just all over the place. Because at first it's like, haha, and then it's like, wait, they killed this woman?
Yeah.
What's happening? And so it just like unraveled from there. But I picked it because I wanted to give it another chance, and I'm regretting that.
There's
like my fundamental thing is like this movie is two types of movie that should be catnip to me. Like, I love political comedy. Like political movies are like one of my favorite genres. I just love any movie that sets foot in the West Wing or the White House or the Oval Office, Capitol Hill. I'm like a cat licking the catnip ball. I'm in.
Yeah.
Immediately. I can watch scenes of guys sitting around in the Oval Office being like, "Oh, are we gonna bomb this town? I don't know. We got to think about our domestic agenda first." Like I watched that for hours. It's my kind of movie.
Yeah.
And this movie is half a political comedy that I'm very into, and then it shifts into a 70s inspired like political thriller. Like this is trying to do like Parallax View, like 3 Days of the Condor type shit with the Laura Linney subplot. And I'm like, great, I love those movies. And then I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I don't like any of this.
Because we just spent all this time talking about the funny irony of watching this movie with the current present day presidential situation with like a TV persona running for president. We're not done with the overlays, ladies and gentlemen. There's also voter fraud, involved in this movie.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah. There's a whole rigged election that takes place in this movie, too.
I remember from around the same time that this movie comes out, there was an not SNL, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. I think it was the 2008 Treehouse of Horror. but it's Homer going to vote in the election. And the options are McCain and Obama. And he's like, I'm going to vote for Obama. And he presses Obama, and it says, one vote for John McCain. And he's like, no, 2 votes for John McCain. He just keeps pressing, he's adding more votes for John McCain. So, because this was around the time that like voting systems were shifting to digital. I voted a few weeks ago, and I like the system. I don't know if it's the system nationwide or just here, but it's a digital system, but then it prints it out physically, and then that's submitted into a second system. Which I like, kind of the physical intermediary.
Yeah,
there's the paper trail. Seems like the best way to do it. But this movie's like, we're gonna start using screens for elections, and they're like, you know what would that mean? We had a Y2K. We're doing that again with the election.
Yeah.
They're doing a Y2K with the election, guys.
Yeah. Because
you ever think about Y2K?
not as often as you do.
I think about Y2K all the time.
As far as I know, one of my dad's friends bought a tank for Y2K.
No, what's great about Y2K?
That's a crazy thing.
That's
you just
insane.
said.
I didn't even I didn't even process what you just said until like 5 seconds later. I'm like, wait, you bought a fucking tank?
Yeah. Well, it was like decommissioned, so it's not like shooting rounds or anything. But
He's just gonna he's just gonna roll through the post-apocalyptic hellscape in his M1 Abrams.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, electronics don't work anymore. I guess tanks do.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Oh my god.
I think about how Y2K was like. Everyone's like, guys, January 1st of 2000 hits, nothing's gonna work. It's also gonna turn off. And they were like, well, yeah. And then they just like went into the system and like updated the code over the course of a few months. And they're like, we're good guys. And everyone like proceeded to freak out about it for 5 more years. And then it didn't happen because they fixed it like years prior.
Hey guys,
I just like the Y2K thing of it actually was a problem that they fixed very early on. And then it didn't happen. Everyone's like, oh, nothing to worry about. Like, no, there was a thing. It got fixed. You all had to calm down. I just like the paranoia of it.
I mean, imagine waking up, January 1st, 2000.
It's just nothing.
Tank outside.
Yeah, tank outside.
Got like hordes of food in the basement.
Like 80 cans of beans.
And ironically enough, the TV still works. Crazy.
Nuts.
Voter fraud.
Should I get into doomsday prepping just as for like shits and giggles?
You live in Chicago.
It'd be funny to have.
You're not making it out.
It was funny, like as a kid watching some of these and like living in the country and be like, yeah, the cities will get hit first, so you'll know. And now I think about it and I go, oh, that's me now.
Well, that's my thing about doomsday prepping is there's no better doomsday prepping than move to a big metropolitan city so you're out first.
Yeah.
Because when you need to prep for doomsday? When you need to live past doomsday.
Yeah.
Guess what? We don't need to live past doomsday because we live in a big city.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're good.
Our investment in prepping is our rent.
Yes.
That's our investment in
God,
prepping.
I hope they don't hit my building.
My specific building.
People say, oh, it's more expensive to live in the big cities. Yeah, and you're spending all that extra money on a bunker and cans of beans. All right. Yeah. I think we're all covered here.
You got to ship a container, dog. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Okay, so Man of the Year, this movie. Yeah, we just said this movie starts very quickly. He runs for president, and he
starts off with Christopher Walken being like, so it was this day in 2006.
Oh yeah, he does have
a very peculiar thing happened.
Who the fuck is he talking to?
Unclear.
Just laying it all out.
Oh no, wait, I know who he's talking to. The Times. The Time magazine reporter who's doing the Man of the Year article,
right? Because the title.
Now you know why I know that
namesake,
because I had to fucking read and pay really close attention at the end of this movie. The movie never says any of this shit to you.
No,
I just inferred this based on the fact that Christopher Walken's like, hey, and then this happened, and then a magazine flops into the screen. The movie's called Man of the Year. It feels like this should be a little more foreground, a little more. At the end of the movie, be like, thank you for talking to Time magazine.
Christopher Walken's the one working for Time.
He's both of them. It reveals that
switching.
It's his twin brother. But no, it feels like that. For a movie called Man of the Year, that does directly make a Time magazine connection. Mm-hmm. Maybe make it a little more clear that's what's happening, right? Instead of me having to use the context clues to figure out who he's talking to.
Laura Linney
Laura Linney.
in this movie, she works for
Laura Linney. We love Laura Linney.
Dominion Voting Systems. I mean Delacroix Voting Systems. Sorry.
Dominion.
Dominion voting systems.
And is this like an early voting thing that she's doing, or like I don't know? She logs into like a prototype system.
What the movie says is she is the lead designer of the digital voting platform that won the contract with the federal government.
You wanted to yawn. I could feel you wanted to yawn at this moment.
And so here is...
It's very prescient for the plot line we're talking about.
But here is the first issue with the movie.
The voting system, obviously.
Yeah. The federal government does not commission elections. The states do.
Yeah.
How
Crazy.
many... Like...
How do you like them apples?
Dominion Delacroix voting systems would have had to have made 50 separate like contracts, which is possible. The movie just needs to say it. Anyway, but she developed this digital system that has been deployed to all 50 states somehow, and she's running simulations to see like, let's see what I think will happen. And she discovers that Kellogg wins every single time, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, that's weird. That's funky. I'm going to email the boss. And the boss says, we fixed it. Thanks. Because he knows we can't fix it in time, and our stock will drop if we have to say we can't do the election. Bad CEO.
Bad guy.
That's tough. Who's the CEO?
I have no fucking idea. Who's that guy?
Did they say his
Dude.
name?
What actor is that?
It's Jeff Goldblum,
No,
guys.
Jeff Goldblum. No, Jeff Goldblum's the lawyer.
Oh.
He's like the evil right hand of the king.
He's the evil lawyer.
To me, he's the face of the company.
The CEO is Rick Roberts,
Oh, okay.
who I've never like.
See, I don't really care. To me, like Jeff Goldblum is like the face of the company, so that's all that I really care.
Well, he
about.
was. To be fair, he was.
He
at
plays
the
a character named
press conference.
Stewart.
And he plays a guy named Stewart. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
No, but that. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
But the CEO of the.
What a story, Mark.
This is like the immediate like trim the fat thing. It's like this is one guy. You don't need two guys.
Yeah.
Just make it one guy. He's the nefarious CEO.
Yeah.
You don't need like the lawyer who's also present in all these scenes. Like, I know how to kill people.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a CEO.
Yeah,
Like,
just pick one of them. That's it. Because you're neutering both of them by making like
Yeah. And but yeah, she reports it. Company says we fixed it, and then it's election night.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken has emphysema
Yeah, you got emphasis.
because he smokes.
This movie
Right.
does the classic where there's just the
We won, bud.
No, there's the offhanded line where Louis Black, who's playing one of the like producers of the show, who becomes a campaign manager.
Isn't he a writer?
Is he a writer? Oh, he's the writer. Yeah, he writes the cue. Where Louis Black is just like, "Hey, Christopher Walken, how long you been smoking?" And Christopher Walken's like, "Since I was 7." Oh, since I was 7. He's like, "Oh, that's not good." And I'm like, "Well, I wonder what's going to happen in this movie."
Yeah. Gee, one can only wonder.
I deeply wonder what plot line we are going to be presented with.
Not the
shortly.
one you're thinking of.
And then he like is like, "Oh," Christopher Walken. I'm like, "Wow, I wonder what's happening here."
oh, I can't breathe for some reason. Weird.
And he's hospitalized, and he's under a lot of sedation, so he can't really stay awake for the election results. So you know what Robin Williams, Tom Dobbs does? He goes and visits his hospital room to watch the election results from the hospital room with his buddy. Isn't it so sweet? Isn't it so nice?
Anytime you
kiss.
watch a movie and a character says something about another character smoking, they're getting like lung cancer. Like,
It's only a matter of time.
If they never mention it, if there's just like cigarettes in the scene, you're good. You're gonna be
fine.
fine. It's just prop setting. If they say
you
something,
look so fucking cool.
you're fucking cooked. If offhandedly someone's like, "You know that'll kill you," that guy's dunzo.
That'd be funny. You do it. He's smoking. Some guy walks up. You know that'll kill you. I'm done.
You're right. You're right.
It's one of the like truisms of the film industry is if they ever fucking mention it, it's cooked. You're done.
I do love that he's in the hospital and Dobbs brings wine. Like, I don't know if you can drinking
yeah.
all this stuff.
He brings
on.
him wine and cheese.
Yep.
Yeah.
For his friend. He only has emphysema and like an enlarged heart.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Only emphysema on
Which
a
is
large heart.
which to be clear,
small thing.
which to be clear is
Walk it
not is
off.
not good.
Why are you being a little bitch, Christopher Walken?
But I think all Jeff's saying is a little wine's not gonna.
Like a little wine is probably fine.
Yeah.
The nurse is gonna walk in. Yo, what the fuck?
He brings him like a big ass stogie and he's just like lighting up in the hospital.
But
Fire alarms going off.
the election results are coming in, and one thing I love is that the big state announcements, like the ones that they really care about winning, are all the Republican states.
Yeah.
Because you notice that they throw up a big like celebration when they win like South Carolina. Like, oh my God, we won South Carolina. Oh my God, we won Texas. Oh my God, we won Indiana. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so the Republican states really matter for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's the 13 states he was on the ballot for.
Right. Why?
I think he only said I think he says he's only on 13 ballots.
They
Is
say
that
he's
correct?
not on all of them.
Yeah, he's on 13.
And then I'm
states.
curious.
Can
Like,
you really win the election only being on 13?
Yes, and they picked the exact
Ones
13
you need
states
to win.
that you could win.
Jesus
I
Christ.
love that it's like, well, we should put him on the Texas ballot. Yeah, but Indiana says they want him too. What about Ohio? No, we don't need him on that one.
One of my favorite like websites to fuck around with during presidential elections is 270 to win, which is you can basically just like make fun combinations of the electoral college and see which states you could conceivably win to win the presidency.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just loaded up this website and like, all right, I need exactly 270 with minimum amount of states. Let's see what I can do. You know?
What is it? What are the 13 states? Well, I'm sure we could just Google this, guys. Which 13 states
Win you the election.
win the
You're gonna get
president?
the AI summary that's going to be like, the presidency election was won by Donald J. Trump. All hell.
Of course.
All hail.
Yeah. It does say Donald Trump won the 2024 election. So, yeah, you're right there. While no fixed set of specific 13 states determine the election, rather, it is any combination of states that equal. Well, yeah, no shit, dumbass. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. So I'm loaded. I'm on 270 to win right now.
Jeff, just load the Man of the Year playthrough they for sure did on that website. They'll show you
Looks
exactly
like
the 13.
Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Nebraska. But those are just swing states. Those aren't the 13 states like that
Yeah.
would win you the election. It's probably like two really big like
He wins Florida and Texas and
Right.
New York. I know
Right.
that.
And if you probably throw California in there,
I think they did
then the
say
re-
he won
then the
California.
rest of the states almost don't really matter that much as long as you have like 9 other states. Because those are like the two big Democrat Republican states. It's like you win Texas, you win Florida, you win California, you win New York, and those are like your big Democrat Texas states.
I think, yeah.
I'm fucking around here.
Yeah,
Jeff's trying to win the presidency.
Jeff's gonna run for
What
president.
if I ran for president?
Why don't you?
Who's stopping you?
What if he had won with like the fucking Nebraska like one electoral vote from Omaha?
I honestly, fuck it. That'd have been fun.
He just wins that one.
I still don't understand why they only put him on 13 ballots.
Well, he enters the election like 3 weeks before the election.
Oh,
So
okay.
their most voting rolls have closed or like things have closed already. So those are the 13 he's able to get on.
Can you imagine being the other two losing to a guy that joined the race 3 weeks before they called it and lost? Well, I mean, obviously voter fraud, but
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the results are coming in, and he's winning all the 13 states that he's on the ballot for.
You got fucking Chris Matthews sitting on the TV looking old as hell in 2006.
Yep.
That guy looked old as hell in like 2016.
Yep.
He's like, there is a chance that he could win if he gets all 13 of the states. Ah! I'm like, Chris,
And of course,
calm down.
Laura Linney, who's watching this, is like, it's the exact same that happened on the prototype.
Yeah.
They didn't fix the thing. And so she storms over to Jeff Goldblum, who is not the CEO, the lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer.
And she says, I emailed you guys about this like a bit ago. and nothing was fixed. And Jeff Goldblum goes into like corruption mode.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna put thousands of people out of work if you tell anybody about this.
Evil.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin this company. You're gonna bring us all down.
You're gonna make us all sad.
I do think it's actually a well-written scene. As much as dumb as I overall think,
I think Jeff Goldblum does what
he does a good job, but I like basically the argument he's making. I think it's like it's not compelling in the sense like I would go for it, but I find it like a very compelling like political idea, which is basically like if we have to maintain democracy. If we tell everyone that it was rigged, or if that the machine malfunctioned, then everyone's going to feel like their vote didn't matter. As of now, their vote doesn't matter, but they don't know that.
And that's the best
So
part.
we'll fix it for the next election.
right.
And for now, everyone can just think their vote mattered.
But then
Rather
the
than we-
election's on a lie.
Yeah. Then the election was a lie. And he says, well, yeah, but
But
we'll figure it out next time.
yeah. So don't you go telling anybody.
He's like, come on, pal. Let's go get a sandwich from the lunchroom.
and
so she walks out and then
goes home.
The CEO is like, what
gotta-
do we do if she talks?
We gotta take care of her.
And Jeff Goldblum is just like, I can make a call. And that's when like we enter like parallax view, like
Yeah, she's at her apartment, and then some guy sneaks up behind her, knocks her out, and injects her with something. A little cocktail.
This is number one problem. Why doesn't he just kill her?
That's what I'm saying.
They get to that point pretty quickly thereafter.
I mean, like, I, if I'm thinking about this movie from a political thriller sense, you can make the arguments like, well, who's to say she didn't tell somebody else? And if she winds up dead, that person doesn't become a problem. And then by the time we find out about them, they've already distanced themselves to keep themselves safe because they're already scared of the conspiracy or whatever.
It's like the scheme, the bad guy scheme is inject her with a cocktail of drugs so she shows up erratically at work the next day and they can fire her for incompetence.
Yeah. And if she says anything crazy, we can say, well, we fired her because she was all drugged up. So she's a drug addict and you can't trust anything she says.
Which, sure, except she immediately recovers from the drugs and goes into investigating this. Like if I'm Jeff Goldblum and I'm thinking about this, I need this woman to be quiet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get her fired from the job here and then just let her go. And she's never going to talk about it again. It's it's a ill-defined scheme. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the basic impetus, but if your idea is to make sure she never tells anyone about this, getting her fired from the job, which is the reason she's not telling anyone about it, seems like a poor idea.
We release you from your bonds to not tell anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I somewhat buy it in the sense of like they're discrediting her, so like anything, because then that's not the crazier part. The crazier part is her investigation.
Yeah,
because that is like the reality stretch moment. She's able to get in front of the president-elect posing as an FBI agent.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like,
because now this movie shifts into like, what if it was a romance too?
Oh my god!
But what if they liked each other?
What if they?
What if they kissed after the fake election?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because don't you think Secret Service would be all over your ass before you even got within spitting distance of the president-elect?
He gives like a throwaway line of like, I told the Secret Service to clear you before you even walked over here. I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm sure somebody was like, there's this woman posing as an FBI agent. Can we call the FBI? Like, it'd take 5 minutes.
Let me
Hey,
see your...
Is this person a real FBI agent with you? No. Like, yeah.
I want to know where she got the badge from.
The Dollar Tree.
For something to be real enough for them to be like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Just that's the crazier part is her like her scheme of this whole
Right.
thing. Because then she even goes around and says like when she does eventually tell Dobbs, Robin Williams, the truth, and he's like, well, what do you want me to do with this information? She's like, I don't know. Well, what do you fucking mean you don't know?
Bruh.
You just risked your life. Like you knew this company had the power to send somebody to your apartment and dose you. And so you chose to pursue this regardless. And you don't even know what your goal was?
Yeah.
That's insane.
What the fuck?
It is.
I don't know. You do
so
something about it.
ill-defined on both of their sides. Like, her and the company. And you just gotta get this shit out of the movie.
Cut it out. We don't need it.
Barry, if you want to make a movie about election fraud, go
Boy,
make that
do
movie.
I got a story for you now.
Go make that movie.
Yeah. It's called Fox v. Dominion. Sorry.
They're taking away our freedoms with the Dominion voting systems.
64 lawsuits. No evidence of voter fraud found.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The
64 lawsuits.
The amount of evidence of voter fraud in American history is, in modern American history, I should say, is so negligible. Yes, in 1960, did the mob help Kennedy win? 100%. That is definitely a thing that happened. Post that, there's been very...
You can't just say that and not explain yourself. What do you mean the mob helped Kennedy win in 1960?
He's like, obviously, the mob helped John F. Kennedy. But after that, it got a lot harder.
What's the story with the mafia helping John F. Kennedy? I don't know the story.
I don't either.
The mob had hopes that if Kennedy got into office, he would be less strict on crime than... It's part of the conspiracy that the mob killed JFK, which I don't believe in whatsoever.
But you believe in the mob?
The mob had reasons to help Kennedy win, with or without his consent, and then they were obviously feeling very betrayed when he got into office and appointed Bobby Kennedy as his attorney general, who prosecuted the mob even more than the Eisenhower administration.
But how did they help him win the election?
Go around and tell people, you vote for Kennedy right now. Send some guys to the voting polls in Chicago. It's not enough that it swayed the election.
I was going to say, like...
The mob had, it didn't sway the election.
So it goes back to the fundamental point.
Yeah.
Yes, there's voter fraud. Is it ever enough to, sway an election? Yeah. No.
Voter fraud is, it is never concentrated. It is always, negligible groups. It would be, the mob in Chicago in, 1960. Or it would be, 2 years ago, some old lady, died and her daughter tried to vote for Trump using her ID. And they caught her. Damn. Voter fraud is not a real issue.
Just look up one court case, ladies and gentlemen, and see how many thousands of pages one court case is going through evidences and exhibits. Yeah. 64 lawsuits.
Yeah.
That's all.
We're getting concerned about all of the wrong issues.
Yeah.
Voting should be universal. Everyone should just be sent a mail-in ballot automatically. You should be enrolled. This is my opinion. You should be enrolled automatically in the election. Mail-in ballot should just be sent to everybody's house a month before the election. And that should be how it's done. You would get substantially better voter returns.
Do you think we should have IDs to vote, Jeff?
I think you have enough IDs to vote right now.
We need another one.
Yeah, we got to do another ID.
We need 3 IDs just to get in, 1 to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to vote, and voting should be easy. It should not be difficult. It is the fundamental thing that makes us American.
Just like getting citizenship in this country.
Yeah.
Should be very easy.
Yes. A lot of things should be easier in this country than they are.
Did you guys want to announce you're running now? Or
we are running for president.
Done?
Stuart and I are running for president.
This is our announcement.
Stuart and I are running for president on a...
And that's why in the 2030 election, the Sweeney Elmore...
Wait, put that back on. I do declare that going forward, we are going to be running a platform of visibility and transparency. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Stuart and I, we're going to be running on a few simple things. Number one, we getting everybody out of this country. Woo! I'm talking all of them. We're free, emptying the whole goddamn country. Everybody going back where it belongs.
Nobody left.
We're going to put a big barge at Staten Island. We putting everyone on it. We shipping you overseas. Woo! European, Asian, African, everybody going. Woo! We're going to let America be retaken by the trees. Trees going to come back. They're going to form a new society. A green society.
Yeah! All these other candidates have the absolutely wrong idea, except for one policy we will assimilate. And that is Vermin Supreme's policy that everybody gets a unicorn or a pony.
Yay!
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos. That was great. I don't know why I just started talking about getting everybody out of the country and letting the trees take over.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know where that came from.
That's like neon green party.
That's like
That's the vegan supremacy right
that's
there.
the vegan supremacy party.
Yeah.
Everybody
gosh.
leaves America.
Um,
Connor O'Malley recently released a new video, my favorite comedian, called Irish Zionism. And it starts with his pitch that what we're going to do is take every single Irish American, put them on a boat, and send them back to Ireland. Which is good. Anyway. But yeah, they're in this like cockamamie election fraud like scandal.
Yeah.
And Laura Linney just like gets, for some reason, Robin Williams is immediately like, "You're the love of my life."
Yeah, they just fall in love from a couple instances. And it is funny, like when Robin does call and they're like, "Yeah, we fired her because she was on drugs." And he's like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, wouldn't you think at that point you would try to understand more about what's going on and not just fully dive into whatever she was talking to him about, the fraud and everything? She'd be like, "Hey, what's this drug thing about? Because you're coming in pretty hot right now."
I still, it's just like the fact that she's able to get as close to the president-elect as she is and
Giving out
spew
his,
all of this, like coming from his perspective, the way she's like presenting it to him, like it's all nonsense stuff that she's like saying. He has to do like the digging to like actually understand, like, oh, okay, now I kind of firmly understand what's going on here.
And we should also better understand what the glitch actually is. Because what she ends up uncovering is...
I don't care.
No, I don't even understand it.
alphabetical order.
She's like, when I put double letters in, for some reason it's going by double letters alphabetically.
So Dobbs, because it's double B, is going before all the candidates.
Going for Mills and Kellogg. But I genuinely don't understand, like...
Here's the problem.
What
Mills,
how does this...
double Kellogg are both double L's.
Well, it's going with the G's at the end. But I genuinely don't understand what this glitch is.
So you mean to tell me the election results were that Tom's won all the votes in 13 elections? It was 100% in all those 13 states. Kellogg and all the other ballots won 100% of those votes. And Mills wins 0% of the votes. And nobody fucking bats an eye?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The glitch should be simpler and also more complex.
To where we don't really need to understand it.
Yeah, like she should just be like, I discovered that like basically when a vote is input, every like fifth one or something like just
counts for you.
Yeah. For some reason. There's a redundancy that makes this happen.
Yeah. Then that's it.
That's very
it.
simple.
Boom. Walk away.
Yeah. We don't need all this extra explanation bullshit. It's so dumb. Or, you know, it could be easier. The country just voted for him.
Yeah, just get rid of this whole thing. The country
just get rid
voted
of this
for
whole
him.
thing when the country voted for him because it's misguided that a comedian should run for president in the first place. Oh, my God. Because then he's the elected president, and there's a bunch of jokes about who's going to be your cabinet. Oh, I think Bruce Springsteen should be the Secretary of State. And then we never find out who his running mate is.
Yeah, he never talks about who the vice president is.
I seem to remember that like having a running mate has always been like a big part of your campaign election.
Yeah.
That you always announce like a few months before election day. He never has a running mate. Even when he wins the presidency, he doesn't have a running mate.
Do they even mention the vice president when he wins?
There's no mention of vice president for any of the candidates anywhere.
New America.
Crazy, right? Like, and that's where, like, and this is another thing that, like, just to make this movie simpler by adding a couple, cutting up out a big part and adding two small parts. Big part, election fraud. Cut that all thing out. The two small parts, what I just talked about, how like this is all a marketing stunt. It is until Tom Dobbs believe he can actually be a president. That's small thing number one. Small thing number two, Christopher Walken is not his campaign manager. He's his running mate.
Yeah.
And he like actually has, because he's a special interest corporate lobbyist kind of guy, he's the one that's telling Tom Dobbs like, you want to be the president. You want to have all these things.
But here's the other issue.
Like,
you are the chosen.
Tom Dobbs does have a vice president.
Does he?
He says at one point, he was pretty surprised. Who's his vice president?
Wait,
who is the vice president?
Are you asking us?
I'm asking rhetorically, like, where's the vice president in this movie?
That's what we were just saying. That there is no vice president.
but he has one.
Who?
Apparently he mentions
Exactly.
it,
He
is what
mentions
he's
it.
saying.
He does mention having a vice president.
Pretty big fucking role to not cast in your movie.
Yeah, he gets to Capitol Hill, and they're like, "What was it like when the vice president learned that you'd won?" He said he was pretty surprised.
What if?
Where is this guy?
What are we doing?
What if Dobbs is lying? Another layer to this cake. There is no vice president. He's pretending to be the vice president as well.
He's going to do it all himself. Mm-hmm. Not going to have a vice president. Well, who's going to take over after you die? It'll be a necrocracy. What did you call it? It's like when it's something where like when the leader dies, that leader is still the president, and the person who's like running the country is just the chairman to the president. North Korea has it. North Korea's actual supreme leader is like Kim Jong-il II or whatever.
Kim Il-sung.
It's like a necrocracy or whatever it's called. Because like
he's the real supreme leader.
Yeah, necrosis and then democracy. So it's a necrocracy or whatever
They're
it's called.
going to use necromantic powers to raise
But yeah,
George Washington.
The dead guy
from the grave.
is your supreme leader, and the person who is actually ruling the country is just the chairman to the
Supreme
supreme
leader.
leader. Yeah. So, but anyway, then we get more into this political thriller rabbit hole. She tells Tom Dobbs the whole thing. And he's like, what do you want me to do about this information? Well, I don't know. I just think somebody should have known.
Well, geez.
My God. And I like Laura Linney as an actress. But like, she is given the worst fucking hand in this movie.
No, she is literally handed like a plate of like poop.
She has to make it look like a souffle.
They're like, yeah, here's your steak.
Like, God bless her, but...
Doesn't she go on the run after this?
Well, it's because Tom Dobbs says, I will have a press conference to announce everything.
Right.
Because Jeff Goldblum bugged Laura Linney's phone, they know that the president's going to have a press conference about this. So they decide, we're going to hold a press conference before the president's press conference and get ahead of it. And their lie, help me out here because I'm lost, but their lie that they say in their press conference is there was this disgruntled employee who we fired because of drugs. She has now started making statements that she tampered with the election. We found out that she only tampered with a prototype. The election is fine.
Yeah, the election is fine. But now she is like friends with Tom Dobbs.
And she is friends with...
Did she
president.
try and do it for him?
Oh, I thought that's what they were saying. Was that
they were
in the
implying like a
prototype,
conspiracy.
like she was so obsessed with him in the
They're
prototype.
implicating the most confusing conspiracy.
Yes.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Because then, you know what happens in the next scene? I'm not talking about 5 minutes later in the movie. I'm not talking about 10 minutes later in the movie. The next fucking scene, Mr. President-elect, the FBI has cleared you of having any correspondence. Like, right away, there's no tension whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's like, because the point of, I think what Barry Levinson's point of this is to say, this character, the main character, has a pass right now that he can choose to take it or not.
Yes.
But he gets to that conclusion by a weird fucking stringly
it's the most
garbled mess.
overwhelming, because by the time we're getting to him at like Saturday Night Live,
Right.
like,
That's the
Christopher Walken-
moral moment.
Christopher Walken's like telling him, hey, the polls are out. It really doesn't matter if you actually won the election. 60% of the country now wants you and says they would have voted for you if they could. We could have skipped all of this bullshit.
All of
Yeah.
this
We
bullshit.
should have skipped all of it and gotten to this point. We could have gotten to the same ending.
And you can't say, well, if they skip it, there's no movie. Yes, there is a movie.
There's
it's
a
called The
whole-
First 10 Minutes.
It's got bones.
You have a
man.
whole movie right here that you can just do.
Right.
Because I love the Weekend Update ending of this movie.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good
think
ending. It's a good
I
ending.
think that 5 minutes is actually great.
It's really good.
It's a great
I like
ending
it.
to a different movie.
Yep.
Right.
Because I like that it happens on Weekend Update.
Yeah.
Because he starts off as a political comedian, and we're getting to the end. What's like the number one like political comedy thing in this country? It's probably SNL. Like, as most people love the Daily Show, they love the Colbert Report, they love the Late Show now. Like, SNL is watched by the most people, and it always starts with a political skit, and then there's Weekend Update, which is always political. It's kind of the peak of it. And I think it's really special and nice for what the theme of this movie is, that he gets to renounce the presidency on Weekend Update on a comedy show that's watched by 1 million people.
Yeah.
Or however many people watch it. I think it's great.
And if like.
And I actually really like what he says in the sequence.
Yeah, exactly. And because the acting is also really good because you have Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Robin Williams, like three titans of comedy here, and they're just they're riffing and they're doing great stuff. And then Tina Fey asks the question of like, so yeah, now that this what's Laura Linney's like character name?
Eleanor
Green. So now that this FBI has cleared you from knowing Eleanor Green before the election, you're pretty much clear of having any accusations of election fraud. Did you by any chance happen to think for a minute that there might have been something wrong? And he says, well, with Eleanor Green, I think that was just a way of the company covering up a much bigger story that we don't know about. And then everyone's like, oh, what? And then Robin Williams then says, yeah, so what Eleanor Green was saying was that she tested it out in a prototype just to make sure the election system was fine. She found a glitch that would be present in all of the voting machines that made me the president, i.e., I am not your president. And it's like, whoa. But, and he goes on this thing. It's like, and nor should I be, basically. Like, I don't know the exact words, but he basically goes on, like, it is like what the landing note of the movie should be except we've not been following that trajectory one fucking bit.
Right.
But it is landing that correct note of like, I am not your legitimate president, nor should I be your president. You deserve someone who actually represents your interest.
And is involved in politics.
Yeah. Not a comedian.
And I like how he just, his whole argument that's his whole argument. And I love the end of it.
She says, we don't really normally do real news.
Yeah, I like that. But I love the idea that Christopher Walken's narration, like Kellogg wins, and they say his second term was better than his first. Because like the whole point of the political comedian is to try and change, depending on their viewpoint, to try and push like conversation towards a specific topic so that people can get involved and can like involve their representatives in their what they actually want to happen. And I like the idea that his run for president did make some changes in how the current president like runs his administration and like made some fundamental differences. That should be the point of the political comedian.
Yeah. This is a great ending to a great movie we never got.
Yeah, it's a great ending to a movie that does not exist.
Yeah. Because like, and not to toot my own like horn in this sense, but like, again, if this whole thing starts with it being like a marketing ploy that like this is going to boost your ratings and this is going to get you on all these famous talk shows and you're going to get movie roles and TV roles and whatever, like it hits the note even more if like he is appearing on SNL like what he wanted to do at the very beginning of this whole story, but as the president-elect in a much more dire situation.
Right.
Like, so it would land like home even more so, but because we've spent the middle 50 minutes of this movie not actually following that trajectory at all. That wasn't the movie.
Yeah.
The movie was just, wouldn't it be funny if people voted for the president, but not actually voted for the president, but then supported that the president-elect, but then the president-elect got involved in this whole political, like, oh my God. And it's just sad because it's Barry Levinson who's like, he's done this successfully before.
He is a.
You were about to say he's a good director, and you stopped.
No. He is a. I was going to say he's a good political filmmaker. I would say he has been a good political filmmaker. Like Good Morning Vietnam, a movie we covered from him, is a good political movie.
I know, like Wag the Dog has
very well reviewed.
Has good reviews.
Very well reviewed.
Yeah,
get some Oscar nominations.
I do want to play a quick.
He also inexplicably directed Toys, a movie we covered.
Yeah, we don't talk about Toys though. I do want to play a quick clip of Barry Levinson in an interview during the press tour for Man of the Year. So like a 2-minute clip.
Going on there. So, well, no, when you wrote this, and how did this whole idea come to you? Because I mean, I can see where a few years ago when we had, of course, the big snafu with the voting. Is that moment? Is that when you came up with this idea?
From the 2004 election, yeah.
And
I think he means the 2000 election,
what
Bush
did you
v.
think?
Gore.
Because I found it because I loved Wag the Dog, but it was I think it was like a lot dark. We were like a lot darker of a movie compared, but I seem to see a lot of parallels.
Well, I mean, Wag the Dog was done in a less cynical, optimistic period, so therefore we can be darker and cynical. Now we're in an extremely dark, cynical period. So can you be any more cynical than what's going on right now? Can you be any darker than what's going on right now? So what happens is everything in its own time. So therefore, my feeling is I need to be somewhat more optimistic, because the other would be too depressing. And ultimately, if you're not going to be optimistic in some way, then the other is unimaginable. There needs to be something that happens to be some sort of change. So this is not an overtly, optimistic movie, but it has some of it because at some point we need some relief from this rather dark, cynical period we're in.
The one thing I enjoyed about this movie was the fact that it could happen. I actually found it to be believable. One is because from a man who knows nothing about politics, I would tend to vote for a man that made more sense to me using humor in the politics and seeing all these people that are just
see where this guy voted lately.
Yeah, let's see what this guy voted
for.
Well,
we had all the 400 or 500 extras during the debate sequence, and when they were all filing out at the end of the day, a lot of them were going, I would vote for him. I would vote for him, So I think it's part of our frustration right now that we.
So, yeah. It's funny. He says, we're in a very dark, depressing time, so I didn't want to make something that was even darker, something unimaginable. Mr. Levinson.
Yeah.
I present to you.
Yeah, I present to you what happened 10 years later.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I feel like it would have been a better message going along with what you guys were saying about trying to see him even put a cabinet together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or see him, I don't know how you do it, in the Situation Room. It's like, hey, here's this big emergency event. You're the president. What are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I read this book earlier this year called Nuclear War: A Scenario, and it's a very well researched. It's basically just laying out from the time a missile is launched, the time it hits Washington D.C. It's basically that's a 19 minutes, and it's just laying out what happens during the 19 minutes. It's a whole book. It's great.
And then they made it into a Netflix movie, House of Dynamite.
No, that's different, unrelated, but similar idea.
Yeah.
But the book it's it's fiction, but it's structured like a nonfiction. And one of the biggest things it says is the presidency, there is basically no training for anything relating to a nuclear strike. The president doesn't have drills. They're just given the football. So if this happens, they're not going to know what to do.
And they have 12 minutes
and
to
they have
decide.
12 minutes basically to figure out, are you going to launch a nuclear strike?
Yeah.
With no training or conversation in advance.
Yeah.
And putting Robin Williams in a situation like that is something that would be because you think about why didn't Trump have to deal with that? Who the fuck knows what would happen?
Careful.
Well, have you seen House of Dynamite?
I've seen House of Dynamite.
See, it's the black book.
Yeah.
The lunch menu thing. Have you seen House of Dynamite?
No.
That basically, it's have you seen the movie Vantage Point with Dennis Quaid about the president assassination a little bit? Okay, never mind. It's in a structure where each third of the movie is its own narrative. It's its own isolated narrative. So when we start a new narrative, we travel back in time for the missile launch.
How cool is it when one guy goes from one narrative to the other one? When Jason Clarke leaves the Rebecca Ferguson, he's like, I got to go to the bunker. And then you're in the second plot and Jason Clarke walks in the bunker. You're
And he walks right in. But the final one is with the president, who's played by Idris Elba.
Yeah.
And so they hand him the black book, which is different scenarios of retaliation strikes. And he's looking at it and he's like, it's like a dinner menu.
Yeah.
Which is really dark in the way to say it. It's this is option A, which is hitting civilian zones. This is option B, which is hitting primarily military zones. This is option C, which is a little bit of both. This is option D, we attack this country versus this country. And it's how does the president, you think the
make
president
that decision?
Imagine having that for light reading at the end of a day, just looking through the dinner menu of nuclear strike codes.
The picture on this one should be happier.
Right. But yeah, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Justin, where it's and I don't even think necessarily it.
You want to see him get confronted by a real crisis, and how does he respond to it?
And I don't even think it necessarily needs to happen as he's president, because I like the idea that this movie never goes all the way through the inauguration day. I like that it's even though in my perfect view, if this is an hour and a half movie, the first hour is the campaign. and like the hour mark is him winning the election, and the last 30 minutes is like, all the stuff going down about who's going to be in your cabinet, running mate, policies, who's going to be your Secretary of State, Defense, all this stuff. And he's getting hit with all these questions. He's like, I don't know about that guy. And he's like, that guy has a picture of him with a Nazi tattoo in a swimming pool. I'm like, oh, okay, so I obviously can't do that guy.
No. What about Jeremy? I like Jeremy. Jeremy went to prison for murder about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Can this guy be your Secretary of Health and Human Sciences? He doesn't believe vaccines work. Well, clearly can't do that guy.
That's my impression of RFK. Yeah.
Beef tallow, as you see, will help the kids eat it raw. But yeah, I
can't believe we're talking so much about beef tallow nowadays. Like, what the fuck's going on? Why are we talking about beef tallow?
Red 40, man.
Too much red and too much 40, dog.
Yeah. But like that is like the stuff you want to see if this movie's whole point and premise is to be that. Because I wrote in like my Letterboxd review, like the final end of it, it's the Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park line, is that you were so preoccupied asking yourself if you could, you never stopped to ask yourself if you should. Yeah. Like, it's funny the concept of this comedian or this celebrity or this beloved actor or this beloved talk show host running for president that has a bunch of wide ratings or whatever. Like, what if fucking like Noah Wiley from The Pit ran for president?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great. Like, everybody who doesn't love The Pit right now, of course. Right. Except for Republicans after watching the ICE episode, but that's a whole
especially around this episode, like everybody was trying to get George Clooney to run for president.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do remember this, yeah.
And he was just like, no.
I'd be terrible president. Right. But the joke of it all is always like, but you would be so much realer than these politician stiffs that go up there and say the scripted lines and stuff like that. And it's like, do you know what I do for a living?
there is like a middle ground somewhere where it's like, it can be a politician who's not like completely controlled by special interests and whatnot. But like, you have to be someone who's devoted your life to the issues.
Yeah.
That like has to be your main focus.
I think like, if you're looking for somebody who isn't reading a script, you're looking in the wrong industry, politics.
Right.
And you're never going to get someone who isn't looking at a script.
Yeah.
Like, I think about like all the newer, younger, like politicians that everyone says, they really say what they believe and everything's so nice. It's like, look, in the Jubilee 1v20 with the James Tallarico episode, he sounds like he's speaking from the heart. He probably prepped for hours before going into it.
That doesn't dispute that maybe he actually believes what he's talking about.
That's the point. That's the point. It's like, it doesn't even matter whether it's like, but they're always scripted up there. They always know what they're going to say. They always have these scripted lines or whatever. It's like, yeah, they're all going to have these up. So would the actor running for president.
Right.
Because that's their job. It matters if they actually believe in the words that they're saying.
I mean, you have a whole campaign team that's probably prepping you for any question you can think of. So
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
This movie raises so many interesting ideas that like you have to extrapolate from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're having these interesting conversations not because the movie like
brought it out of us.
It's like because we're talking about the general topics the movie is about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think like, not to go back, but like, do you think it would have been so much easier if the scripted response Mamdani had with Israel was it just to say like, yeah, Israel's the right to exist, and he could just, win the New York mayor election landslide. He still had a scripted response, but was it Israel has a right to exist, period, plain simple? No, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was scripted, but it was his true beliefs and like how he believes in that. And it like still to this day, even after he's elected, like people bring it up as opposition to him.
Yeah.
So like this whole scripted and like be a real person bit, you're looking in the wrong industry there. My God.
Like politics is presentation.
Yeah.
It's part of the sauce.
It's all presentation.
Whether or not you like it, it's part of the sauce, and it always will be.
Yeah.
And everybody owns somebody.
Yeah. Including me.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't own anybody.
And that's why for the 2030 presidential election, we're going to run off of the policy that everybody gets Viagra. All right.
Yeah. In the 2 months since we last recorded this show,
so much has happened.
So much has happened. I feel like we've come back a lot more embittered at the state of the world, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make any apologies for going off topic and talking about.
You also,
things.
to be fair, you watch a political movie in the height of our political climate. I feel like it's going to bring a bunch of that out. Because but even in 06, they're like a comedian or a TV personality winning presidency. That's never going to fucking happen.
But like 9 years ago, Levinson made a movie about a presidential administration creating a war to distract from a sex scandal.
Okay. To be fair to Wag the Dog's credit, that movie is the fake war.
Yes.
It's entirely manufactured. There's no actual war occurring.
Well,
I mean,
yes.
To be clear, it's like CGI videos.
It was like, to be clear, we are actually bombing people.
Yes,
we are actually killing civilians. These things are actually happening. We are deconstructing and manufacturing energy crises all around the world that affect so many other countries 20 times worse than we are, and yet we're complaining about $5 gas prices where Cuba doesn't have power to filter their water.
Yeah.
So, what are we... Sorry.
Welcome to Polititalk on the Travolting podcast.
Yeah. All I'll say is to everyone who listens to Travolting, make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
It's a very easy process. It'll take you under 5 minutes to register. It'll take you under 10 minutes to do it. It's 15 minutes of your year. That's all it'll cost you.
Yep.
And just, pay attention.
Pay attention.
Read up on things. Actually read stuff. Pay attention. Make sure you're not just being fed AI slop.
Or Instagram, TikTok algorithm slop.
Oh, gee, yeah. I think your own research.
Yeah.
But with reputable sources. Don't just do your own research in the MAGA way of following some influencers I ate red meat for a year and my skin is perfect.
How dare you attack the Liver King like that?
Beautiful thing is I don't know. There's a fault in this philosophy because if you apply this philosophy across the board, it can open up to some toxic mindsets. But try to steel man what your opponent thinks about sometimes. Don't steel man the Nazi movement. There's no need to steel man the Nazi movement. Yeah. But steel man what when Democrats are saying no, people documented or undocumented should go to hospitals.
Yeah.
Really try to figure out why they believe that, and it won't take you that long to figure out the reason.
And we should expect our art to represent these viewpoints as well. I do think that that's part of the human experience in our culture is art is always in conversation with society and with culture, and shows like The Pit, which it's not political in nature, but it is unafraid to get political,
right,
and talk about real issues facing the medical industry. Yeah. This movie, for all of its faults, it is trying to talk about politics in a way that is entertaining and realistic. It fails on basically all fronts, but it is trying to do something, which I will give it some credit for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad that it skirts around much of it for a bullshit B plot, but even still, I will at the very least give Barry Levinson credit for, having the bones of a good concept and a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. What was your guys' rank?
2.5.
2.5.
I think I did 2.5.
Yeah.
I'll shake your hand, Justin. You and I had the same score.
To me, this movie, I think it earned a 0.5 star simply because of probably the first 10 minutes of the movie and then the last 5 minutes of the movie.
It's a gentleman's 5 for me, just based on
out of 10.
Out of 10, just based on it does have.
I would give it a gentleman's
some
5.
moments.
Yeah.
But it is overall unsuccessful at James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin's funny in it.
I shouldn't have any more final thoughts. I'll just get more.
Well, that's the thing is the last thing we were going to talk about is what this does for Robin, which is just it's
right.
Another because this is his reunion with. We haven't even talked about that. This is his reunion with Barry Levinson for the first time since Toys.
Yeah.
And then Good Morning Vietnam prior to that.
Right. So 2 back-to-back flops of a movie, and this movie comes out and it gets pretty negative reviews.
It gets very scathing reviews. Scathing.
It makes
terrible.
A decent profit, but it's $20 million budget, supposedly makes $40 million. So it makes a little bit of money, but not much.
The back-to-back of this and RV, Robin kind of got out of his serious era and shifted back into comedy movies. And RV is a big Barry Sonnenfeld, like straight up comedy.
Yeah.
And this is his like a political comedy once again with Barry Levinson, who kind of launched his career.
Wait, did you mention like RV Barry Sonnenfeld and then Man of the
Barry
Year Barry
Levinson?
Levinson?
Yeah, two berries.
Two berries.
Two
Barry to
Barry.
But I think
fast,
that
too Barry.
it's just sad. Like he has this back to back, trying to more or less reset his career again, and neither of them really connects.
There's 2 good reviews. Not good in the sense that I like the reviews. They're bad reviews, but they're good.
Yeah.
That I want to read. One, it's a comedy, a political thriller, a love story. Barry Levinson's Man of the Year tries to be all things to all people and fails in every count. A little like the generic and ineffectual politicians it's pretending to excoriate. Which I thought that was really good. It does feel like it's a movie that's trying to appeal to everybody, much like politicians do.
Yeah.
And then that was Stephen Zacharek of Salon. This is Josh Larson of the Sun Publications. What is it about Robin Williams that he often appears in these wild misfires, pictures that are so full of promise yet so disastrous in execution? Which I think kind of lands home with our Robin context, post-text here. Robin is obviously going through a major slump period career-wise now. Most movies that he gets attached to, either they're these front runner movies that he's the spearhead, but the script's never quite there, and his movie star capital has truly faltered off. I mean, for this movie to be like a reunion between Levinson and Williams and to only make 40 off of a $20 million budget, and it's like a market as a political comedy, that's really telling. But then on top of that, the other side of movies are like last week when we just talked about Everyone's Hero, where he's like pretty much doing like supporting cameo roles.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot. And all of these movies going forward, except with the small exception of Night at the Museum, are mostly all going to be like flops. And even then, Night at the Museum, he's not the main drag of that movie. On a personal front, I mentioned this before, but it's been 2 months, so I'll recap a little bit. So on top of Robin's decline in fame, he's also going through a personal life decline. We talked about that when he did The Big White, which came out in 2005. So we shot that around 2004. That was the movie that made him fall off the wagon and go back to alcoholism. And his re-entry into addiction caused problems in his personal life. A lot of friends and family quickly made mention of Robin's entry back into his drinking, and to the point where he, in 2006, so the year this movie comes out, he goes back to a rehab facility for his alcoholism. One of the patients that Robin was in group with, once they got out, would later sell that story to the National Enquirer, so that became a big tabloid news, which Robin doesn't really have a lot of things to say about it other than, it was probably bound to happen. You see Robin Williams in a rehab facility, like someone's going to talk about it. But then in, I think a year after, I want to say it was 2007 or 2008, is when finally Robin and his wife Marcia decided to separate and divorce. So, and on RV, and I think the episodes prior to that, I mentioned Christopher Reeve, his best friend, passed away. Dana Reeve passed away same year. Richard Pryor, one of his comedy mentors, passed away a few years prior to that. So Robin is going through some really tough time, really some real dark times right now. And I guess like it's going to be this way, sadly, for a little bit. Like the Night at the Museum franchise is like the one glimmer of light that he kind of gets.
Yeah.
But sadly, that's going to basically somewhat be his only real glimmer of light in terms of his professional career.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we'll talk about it. I'll hold all my thoughts until we get further into it.
Yeah.
Because next week we get to talk about one of the most political and intense films of his entire career. And I hope we're ready. Justin, I hope you're ready for how intense this movie is going to be that we're covering next week. Stuart, what are we talking about next week?
We are going to talk about Happy Feet.
Oh my
God! That's right, folks.
Happy Feet.
The week after
We love Happy Feet.
We love the Happy Feet.
We love Happy Feet.
The feet are happy.
The feet
full
are
of joy.
happy.
Full of joy.
Yay.
But yeah, we get to talk about George Miller's Happy
Is his name
Feet.
Mumble?
I don't.
Isn't that the fucking penguin's name?
I don't know.
I think it's D's. Sorry.
Anyway,
George Miller's follow-up to Babe Pig in the City, Happy Feet.
Yes. The penguin who just wants to dance.
Penguin, he just wants to fucking dance.
Yeah.
A movie that I don't really like that much, but I do think the sequel goes crazy.
The sequel does go
Happy
crazy.
Feet 2 is.
I don't think I've actually seen those movies.
Justin, you're probably gonna have to watch Happy Feet, seeing as the guest is someone you're very familiar with.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like you'll be watching Happy Feet within the next week, possibly.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. All right. I
I
shan't have any more thoughts on
You
this
can.
movie,
I
this
think we're
topic,
good, right?
this subject.
Justin, you got any final things you want to say?
No. I hope you guys have happy feet. That's what I hope for.
My feet are always happy.
My feet are seldom happy.
We are holding toes under the table right now.
We are clasping.
On this.
There it is. Come here, Stuart.
Oh, well, I got my slippers.
That's fine. Protection is safe.
You're wearing slippers?
I wear slippers now.
He's a slipper guy now.
I'm a slipper guy now.
You're so domesticated.
That's his.
They're really nice
He's
slippers.
So domesticated.
This podcast brought to you by Bombas. Bombas slippers. They're really nice.
Did you also get these from work?
No, I bought this at Designer Shoe Warehouse.
When I first met
With a
Stuart,
gift
he was
card.
living in like those like Reddit male living spaces type situations.
Yeah.
Where it's like one picture on the wall. And
Remember
like
my Edgewater apartment?
Like a mattress laying on the floor.
You didn't know me back when I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Edgewater.
I was there.
That was pretty Spartan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty Spartan.
It was like one 6-pack in the fridge and then
it
some
was like,
thawed out steak.
You didn't even have like
hell yeah, brother.
You didn't have slippers. You barely even had shoes.
I barely had shoes.
I
be like a dead rat in my entryway, my building.
I know when we moved here, I moved in my old car, the Toyota Echo. So all I had was like a mattress that came in a box, so it was on the floor.
Very good.
My TV stand was just one of the boxes I moved in, flipped upside down.
Hell yeah.
And then I had like one of those plastic like drawers, and that was all I had.
Hell yeah. That's the life, ain't it?
Well, that's the way to be.
Not anymore.
I
We got
miss those
bookshelves
days.
now.
Yeah, I know. I got to worry about to make sure that the comforter color matches the season or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Travolting.
Yes.
Presents Bob and for Robin. Tune in next week for our episode on Happy Feet.
My
feet are just happy.
Or we'll be joined with none other than reoccurring guest Savannah Olson. Crazy. You know Savannah.
I think so.
You guys know each other a little bit.
Yeah, we've met a time or two.
Yeah, very good. Well, we're very excited to have Savannah back on the pod. Like Jeff said, if you like this episode, remember to rate, review, comment, like, subscribe, on whatever platform you're listening on. As always, you can follow us on whatever platform you listen to our podcast. We're pretty much on every platform you can imagine.
We're always around.
We're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere, all at once.
Special thanks to Rebecca for the graphic design and Michael Van Bodegum Smith for the theme music that's taking you out. Thank you all for listening to Man of the Year. Join us next week for Happy Feet.